Hi, my name is Lindsay Zaya, and I'm the Policy and Research Associate with the Madison Liberty Institute. Thanks for joining us for our weekly legislative update. Federal level legislation has been especially alarming in recent weeks. There are three items that are unprecedentedly dangerous. H.R. 1, also known as the People's Act, H.R. 2474, also called the PRO Act, and H.R. 5, also called the Equality Act. H.R. 1, which has passed the House last week, seeks to federalize elections, would restrict organizations and individuals from being engaged in advocating for legislation, mandates that same-day voter registration be allowed across the country, and severely erodes other aspects of election integrity. The PRO Act, which has passed the House, would eliminate essentially all of independent contract work, including Uber and Lyft, and requires an individual to hire someone as an employee, even for incidental work like lawn mowing, child care, and other services. H.R. 5, which passed the House a few weeks ago, would add sexual orientation and gender identity to protected classes of people in America. This would mandate that businesses offer services to individuals regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, even if it violates their religious conscience. And one last federal note, the latest stimulus package just passed the Senate and is expected to be signed by President Biden later this week. This week, in the Idaho legislature, several important education bills passed. In the Senate, Senate Bill 1046 passed, which allows an innovative classroom with alternative curriculum when requested by the parents of at least 26 students. In the House, House Bill 249 passed, which changes the policy regarding sex education to require parents to opt into sex education for their kids instead of students being automatically opted into the sex education unless the parent fills out an opt-out form. This passed the House on a party line vote. An additional measure to strengthen parental rights, House Bill 246, passed the House this week. This bill ensures parental rights even during a state of emergency. House Bill 294 also passed the House this week, which would create a strong students, grant, and scholarship program where, based on financial need and qualifications, $500 would be given to each student each year and would be available to public school, charter school, private school, and homeschool students. Lastly, House Bill 174 passed the House this week, which removes the requirement for school boards to negotiate with unions and establishes that they have the option to negotiate with unions if they choose. This bill passed 45 to 25. There have been many appropriations bills passed in the last week, as session is expected to end in the next few weeks. Some notable funding bills that were voted on in the House this week include House Bill 270, Appropriations for Commission on the Arts, which passed the House. House Bill 271, Appropriations for Attorney General, which failed in the House. House Bill 283, Appropriations for Public Television, which passed the House in a vote of 36 to 34. And Senate Bill 1081, Appropriations for Catastrophic Health, which failed in the House. Funding bills that were voted on in the Senate this week include House Bill 200, Appropriations for Health and Welfare, which passed in the Senate, and House Bill 216, Appropriations for Medicaid, which passed the Senate as well. Other important legislation this week includes House Bill 126, which would provide for the processing, growing, and transportation of agricultural hemp with some strongly debated restrictions. This bill passed with a vote of 44 to 26. Senate Joint Memorial 103, which opposes the removal or breaching of the dams on the Columbia Snake River system, passed yesterday in the Senate. The Senate also passed Senate Joint Resolution 102 this week, which would amend the state constitution to allow that the legislature convene themselves when 60% of the House and Senate agree to convene. Lastly, House Bills 195 and 288 were both killed in the House this week. These bills addressed targeted picketing or protesting. Several elected officials had problematic protests at their home in the last year, and these bills would have prohibited both peaceful and disrupted picketing at any residence, and also prohibited the sharing of an address for the intention of targeted picketing. Thank you for joining our legislative update. We hope these videos have been informative and helpful. Remember that knowledge is power, and we'll see you next week.